Hello everybody, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button. What a day already. It's about 4 o'clock here. So I want to sort of do an hour's worth of stuff here. Then I need to go downstairs and sort dinner out. Yeah. So this is the hat we started last week. Take that needle out. And I sort of pinned on all of the flowers, which I've whip stitched on, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's a really simple stitch, and we're going to do it because I've sort of left myself one to do, and it's just a matter of holding it to the fabric and whip stitching it. It's a bit laborious, but then that's what slow stitch is, isn't it? It is about the laborious, it's about the slow, the meditative, you know. When I did do it, it did me good. I like the fact that I'm making some 3D things, this and the tea cozy. And I like the fact that it, even though it's either a piece of decor or it would be a costume, so it is kind of useful. Right, so I have some little bits of tulle that I've just sort of stuck underneath there to add a little bit more texture. And I only thought about doing this after I actually did this one and stuck this down, so I was thinking there's several ways I can go about adding another bit and perhaps other bits around the edge. And one of the ways, let me just cut a length of this. This is actually from the original hat. It was stuck on with horrid like hot glue. I've trimmed off all the hot glue off, but I think it would be nice just to use it as well. So we're just going to crinkle some up, get our pins. Now I can either, and I probably might do a bit of both, I can put another bit of black velvet down, which would be the easiest way, and just whip stitch around that black velvet, and it would make it almost invisible because the velvet is very forgiving. It's stretchy velvet. You know, go to a thrift shop, a charity shop we call them in the UK, or in your own wardrobe, and see if you've got any of this like stretchy velour. I remember like my daughter, so this is like 2010s, or all that, you know, the velour little tracksuit bottoms when she was a baby. They were so soft and comfortable, and I would just get those for her to sort of crawl around the floor, and yeah, they were just really soft and comfortable. I think all that's coming back in now, isn't it? I've noticed there's loads of like jeans, the way the jeans have got wider, which I never really got out of. But some of the silhouettes are very similar to the early noughties when I was in my 20s. I don't know if you can redo it again though. Can you? I might have a go, see how I feel. I'm going to turn 50 in December. I don't know, it's strange in middle age, I think. I remember being younger and thinking, oh, I wonder what it'll be like to be like that age, you know, like my mum's age when my mum was 50. And in many ways, I feel younger than they appeared. My dad died when he was 47. And he seemed so old, and it might be because like ravages of illness makes you appear old, but yeah, he just seemed so old when really he wasn't. He was such a young man. But there we go. Oh, that'll work. That'll work well. So that's that bit. And we'll whip stitch around that. I've also pinned on the kind of band around the middle, because like sun hats have a band around the middle, don't they? So I wanted her to have that. And this will go with the journal that we're making in October. I am going to work on the other. Can I put my hand on it? On this journal as well, because this is all about having just one book. Yeah, I quite like that. That's given me an idea for the cover for that one, actually, just looking at that. But we're not doing junk journaling, we're doing slow stitching. So we have this that's all sort of come out, but that's alright. We can put it back in. Now, to make these pleats, you could go in and out and sort of develop, like you were making half a yo-yo and then just give it a pull. But I'm not worrying about that too much. It's not a precise thing. It's just sort of put together from odds and ends, really. Have I lost all that tulle? No, good. So we've got some, because this is going to be the front. So we've got some on each side. I was wondering, do I put something at the back as well? We want something at the top. I don't think I want anything on the top. Let's put something on the back and then we'll see. And then we've got some, I've got some buttons at the side. I am called the vintage button, but I've got jars upon jars upon jars of buttons of all different hues. You know, I've got a lot of pastel type buttons, and then I've got like some deeper colours, which is what I've dug out today. So again, I think, and it can be a little bit off centre, I don't want it to be perfect. Let's do another little circle of black felt. I've got a little stop clock on the side, so I've got an idea, keep an idea on the time. So we started if this is not your first time watching, you'll know that I've had COVID, and we've started the sort of the recovery. Like last week I went back to work, but I still don't feel right now, to be honest. I think the sort of convalescence time is a lot longer than like when you just have like a really bad cold or a touch of flu or something. So yeah, I'm kind of just sort of getting back on my feet. And it means the house has gone completely to pot, and it just makes us all a bit grumpy and all a bit sad. So I've started on all the washing. I've got all the dehumidifiers out. In the UK we don't have like laundry rooms. Very few houses have what we call a utility room, and we don't have a dryer because normally we dry our washing outside, but because it's built up, I've got a lot of washing, and sometimes when it's a bit too inclement we dry it inside. So that's on like old-fashioned drying racks with dehumidifiers. Basically that's how we're doing it. So I got up early this morning, just started putting the washer on, putting it out on racks. So yeah, we're on to our third load, which is nearly finishing. So that's one. I'm thinking if I can manage to get 3 out today, I'll be really happy. And tomorrow I'm in Cambridge, and then Tuesday everything will be dry, and I can put that away and start some more. So we're getting back to it. It's going to be all right. So anyway, I digress. So here we are. We've got our tulle in 3 different places. Now I am wondering, do we put a little bit on the I could make like a proper little Norfolk puff. I want the ruffedy edges, like a little rosette. Do we want that? I don't know if I do, you see, because I kind of like, I'll reserve judgment for that. Okay, now I'm just going to pop the hat just off camera a little bit. I have one of my jars with dark colours, and it's always got a mixture of things. It's a real mixture of things, just because things just get put back. Oh, what is that? Let's see if I can find what that is. There's even shells in here. There's all kinds of... What is that? Oh, I don't know if I like that. I want to pick that out and use it for something else. It looks like something that's like an old scrapbooking element. Right, we'll put that to one side. But yeah, these are my really old buttons. Some still got the thread on it and the original piece of clothing. There's a mixture. There's like little plastic doobies and shells in here as well. So I was just looking at... Oh, there's some... No, they're a bit big. They're things that I've made with previous craft obsessions. might be useful for something else. Now I did think about this, which is a beautiful like vintage belt buckle that's it's lost its, you know, like the little forky bit or the little prong, but I think it's too pretty for that, and as in it's too, yeah, it wouldn't go. Oh, I don't know. But I think I want to use that for a journal, so I don't know what to do. What should I put? I think try and go with gold. I don't know. This is the bit that's going to take a long time. Alright, so this is, I generally try and do little bits of sort out at a time, where I'll sort of divide them into colours. More successfully than others. Got some old Royal Air Force buttons. Like, they're really old, like Royal Air Force buttons. Got quite a few of them. Oh, just a plain brass button. Because I'm thinking on the band, right, I like that one. I'll keep that one. I don't know if I should use the Royal Air Force buttons on a witch's hat. Feels a little bit heretical. What are you? A manca. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That doesn't look very British. These are very old-fashioned Royal Air Force buttons. They must have come off like a greatcoat or something. I don't know. I don't know whether we should. Should we? No, I think, because it's got an emblem on. Oh, now that one's nice. It's like a hammered gold. That's an option. I've got a smaller version of that. I've got some keys. Now, keys are useful. I'm going to put that one with my other keys. I don't know where these keys are from. I just acquire keys. And keys can be used in junk journaling. So I'll put this aside. I do have a little buckle. Got some bells. What are you? Just plain. Oh, that's quite nice. That's very plain. That's old. Put that there. So, speaking of witchy things, is anybody watching the Marvel thing on Disney? Oh, that's a little fish. On Disney Plus. Agatha All Along. We've been really enjoying it. We kind of worked out who was who. Oh, now that's interesting. What? It's like a buckle off a shoe. I wonder. Doesn't have to be the same size on each side, does it? Oh, what are you though? Okay, I'll keep that. Oh, I've got two of those that match. Okay, we're developing thoughts. Right, let's not add any more thoughts to the pile. If I was a clever person, I would have put this on a piece of paper and then I would just be able to put them back, but I'm not. I do apologise if the noise is annoying. Yeah, so I've been collecting like vintage buttons literally for decades. Well, again, I think I've said before that it's all quite nostalgic for me, that I sort of like have memories of looking at button tins and buttons and drawers. My mum used to have like an old Singer sewing machine that had a treadle, so it didn't even have any electricity, but I think it probably kept her quite fit, you know. And she would make a lot of stuff on this Singer because I quite like that button. Keep that on. Where she had it, it was in front of a big window on our landing, and there was no electricity there, so it was the best place to sew really for her. And she just didn't. I think it would also work with, like, it would go through heavy materials, and she used to make all kinds of stuff for us. Not that we appreciated it at the time, because it was the 80s, and if it hadn't been made in a factory it wasn't worth anything, which is really sad. But I don't think we're going to bother with emptying this tin out unless I can really see. No, quite like these, but I don't think these colours quite go. The dusky pinks, I don't know where they've ended up in there, but right, they can just sit on the shelf until we go. So we thought we'd have a look at this buckle, didn't we? Might be a bit much. I think it might be a bit much. So if this is your first time watching this video and you've got 15 minutes in and you're thinking, what is she doing? I quite like the thing that she keeps showing me. This was an old hat, a witch hat that's on a headband, and it's just become something that I thought I would take apart. I think the buckle should be there. I was thinking, is that the right place? Because I know it's towards the side, but what about that? What about that? I don't know. It might be too much, I think. But just a big, solid gold button somewhere. Perhaps where the join is. Oh yeah, I like that. And that's still very on brand. We've got that kind of button. Oh, so this is like a hammered gold button. So we've got a big brass button that's domed. We've got this hammered gold affair, a smaller one. I don't think a smaller one. I've got a couple of smaller ones. No, we'll discount them. A really small one. No. So it's either that button, which I quite like, or that button, which I also quite like. But I think that one. I think it's that one. Oh, which way around? I've got choices. It just feels a bit more witchy. I don't know what witchy feels like, but there you go. Right then, so we're just going to stitch it all on. We'll decide what we're going to do with this last piece of tulle, or if we're not going to do anything with it at the end. But we're just going to start stitching. So I'm hoping, because it's all black cotton, so I've kind of put a green background down. She said biting a cotton, you shouldn't do that. What is it our mothers used to say? Do as I do, say not as I do. It's strange, isn't it? I don't talk to my child like that at all. My mum. Do as I say, not as I do. Love her. Okay, so this is the same stitch that we're going to do now that I used to stitch all of these on. And I think I've said before, I don't know about how much do you actually want to see stitching, you know, like in slow stitching videos. I don't know. So we're just going to go around. We might not finish it all today. I think what I'll do next is I'll do the buttons and the band next, and then we'll see how the video goes, because I can do some of it off camera and then put it on the thumbnail, because I kind of want you to get a gist of the idea, and that, like, because I think people have notions about slow stitching that it's all very similar projects, and I don't, well, the way I interpret it is completely different. That slow stitching is in a manner of how you accomplish something, really. And so, and you wouldn't really be able to do this on a machine. I'm going to keep catching my cotton on that pin head. It's going to annoy me. So you can see they're not even very small stitches necessarily. I'm just digging in the needle where I can, bringing it back out and just whipping it over. This, like I said before, this velvet is very forgiving, and it's not fraying. So it's enabling me to sort of manipulate the fabric, manipulate the object, and make sure everything just catches in really. So here's the edge. I'm trying to do it so that you can see it. That's the most difficult thing, because like normally, and I think I've said this before, it's like when I'm fussy cutting and I'm junk journaling, I bring things really close to me, whereas I can't do that. So obviously, because you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So we have to try different ways. It does mean your technique's slightly off, but it's okay, because we're not going for perfection. We're going for the process and the end result, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I saw somebody comment again on a Facebook thing about it was a junk journal one, but I think the premise is still the same with slow stitching, and she was sort of saying how she makes scrapbooks but she never feels that they're perfect, and she wants to develop herself so that, you know, kind of lose that perfection mentality basically. And I think that's what happens when you can get into sort of formulaic mindset with any craft, like literally any craft. If you get so that things have to look a certain way and have a certain manufactured look to it, even though it, you know, it's obviously handmade, but still have a, I don't know, I think standard's probably the right word, but not necessarily, because I still think you can produce something that's of really good quality, but it doesn't have to be perfect as such. So I don't know, I'm still developing my thoughts. But what do you think? Do you think that like things have to be perfect for you to deem it to be worthy? Because I think that's probably what I'm getting at, that things don't have to be perfect to be lovely. They don't have to be perfect to be worthy of anything. These pins are going to annoy me. Let's move that one down like that. So yeah. Those are my thoughts I'm developing, particularly over this perfection thing. It's quite an insidious thing that can like have influence over lots of areas of your life really, even though we're only talking about crafting. I might be getting a bit deep for Sunday afternoon. But here you can see it's a whip stitch. It's just in and out, over and under, and catch everything. So now I'm trying to catch the tulle as we go along, and it will, and it'll sort of like give it a little bit more movement, because it'll give it a bit of a pucker. So yeah, so I'm in my office tomorrow at Cambridge, which is going to be strange because I haven't been there for a couple of weeks because I was ill. It's going to feel like, yeah, I've not been there for a long time. But I'll be there bright and early. I've got a few appointments. I'm still sorting my diary out. There's like lots of recovery. I feel like recovery at work, trying to get my diary back in order. Lots of sort of forward planning, but also like kind of trying to squeeze things in from the past couple of weeks. It's not been easy. I was going to go and help out with an event at another location in Cambridge on Tuesday, but I'm not doing that now, which I am eternally grateful for, because that gives me an entire day just to sort of try and contact everybody and get all my little ducks in a row, which hopefully I should be well on track by then, and then I can get back to normal. Sorry about the clunky people noise next door. That's somebody going back into a bedroom. One thing I've not done, see there's house jobs, there's loads of little house jobs I need to do. My front garden needs a good weed. My back garden does, but that's more my husband's domain. I need to put all my winter clothes out and put all my summer clothes away, because I don't think it's not going to get warm enough for summer clothes now. Not like my linen dresses and things like that, they all need to go away. I've got some slow stitching ideas as well, because I'm sort of on this weight loss journey. I am having like medication for it, and medication's quite expensive, and I don't want to. It's quite slow going as well, because I've decided to give myself the first 6 months of it, because I've got quite a lot of weight to lose. Just give myself a break, take the medication, and not it kind of stops all the cravings and, you know, that, oh, I could just eat something sort of thoughts. I've just completely gone. In fact, I have to make determined efforts now to drink even. It's strange. It's not something I want to be on forever, but it's something I want to just try and help to re-educate myself, or I don't know, because I kind of know. It's complex. I'm not going to go there. But suffice to say, you know, my body is changing shape and things are getting looser, and it'll get to a point where things don't work anymore, that, you know, I just can't wear that anymore. So I'm thinking of doing some hacks to sort of make my clothes smaller and last as long as possible. So I've got some ideas about that. And I've been watching YouTubers like, is it Tracy Myers? I think I've said before, I don't want to be as flamboyant as Tracy Myers. She makes these amazing boho sort of creations. But just to have a little bit of a handmade element to whatever I decide to do. That's basically what I'm thinking of doing. And I've got some ideas. So I don't know if I'm going to do that on the channel though, because I think it's going to be in this format of just using the camera looking down. I don't know how easy it's going to be. And I don't know how competent I would be at stitching bits of film together. So I might have to, and that's too many things for me to be thinking about. Just knowing my brain, because I'll be like, oh, that's too much hassle, I'll not do either. So, slight ADHD brain, I think. Oh, I can hear the cats come back in. There we go. That's that one sort of finished, and it's all whip stitched on, the tools on, and the tool's just gonna come over the edge. And I might even snip it up into it, because that's quite a perfect edge, and like I want it to be a little bit ratty. It's a bit Miss Havisham. So what we're going to do now is, while this thread is still attached and it's attached to here, I'm just going to go straight into this band as long as I can, and I'm just going to put odd little stitches all around to keep the little band on the hat. We might even put that button on. So just like odd little stitches, and I want these little puckers and these little pleats in there. Lily's sneezing. So yeah, so I'm going quiet because I'm concentrating slightly. And this stitching's not going to be perfect at all, but some of it is. I'm really not worried, because we're going to be putting a button on. I need to think about how I'm going to put the button on, because it's going to be difficult. I think what I might do is sew the button onto a little bit of this, and then I'm going to whip stitch around there. Shall we do that now, actually? I'll need another needle and thread. So this doesn't have to be very big. I do want to finish this week. I'm just looking at the clock. I'm at the half an hour mark. Let me know in the comments how long you think you want to watch a slow stitch video for, because I've seen some and they're quite long. And sometimes I'm quite happily would have a video that's like an hour in the background while I'm doing other things. So I just kind of wanting to gauge where I'm going with stuff like that, particularly because I do this sort of like not edited style, and there are reasons for that. Some of it is my own technical competence, and I don't want to rely. There are people in my house that can edit videos, but then I would have to be relying on them and their timetable and their energy for when they would be done, and I think it's more important to post than wait until things are perfect. And I spend all day looking at a computer when I'm working. So the whole point of this channel was to get me to not do that. So was to actually encourage me to use my craft room to connect with other crafters. And now I can see all kinds of possibilities, and I'm quite excited about it. Sorry, I've come off the camera there, but I'm thread my needle. So yeah, I kind of don't want to go down that road of heavy editing for those reasons. But I think we'll get a lot done, and even if I'm just doing the tulle myself on the other bits, you know now what I've done, which is just a little whip stitch thing. Right, let's sew our button on here. Excuse the splitting nails, that's menopause for you. I like this hammered gold button. And so I get my buttons from charity shops, antique stalls. Sometimes they've been given to me. A raft of places, really. And it, like I said, it's just a collection from over decades. Why are you doing that? Am I going to make you do that? Ah, but that's alright. We can handle that. Yeah. I don't know what I've done here. I've sort of rooked it up. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay. Let's put that on there. Where's that other needle? Put you well out the way. I don't know a lot of stitches, you know. I just I know back stitch, I know a whip stitch, and a running stitch basically. I can make a French knot if I really have to. I don't know like all embroidery stitches. That's not, and I think that's probably why it's not my kind of style. I don't know. I need to put my thimble on and all that. Here we go. Try and get it so you can see it. We're just whip stitching again. I think whip stitching is the name of the game for this one. For the entirety of it. Covering the felt. So it was a black felt hat. I extended the brim, made the brim wider. I extended the top. You can almost see that that's like where the top of the hat was, and then I just sort of made a little thing that I slipped over and whip stitched it on. So it's kind of it's interesting how it came together in that way. Let's move that pin. Move your object rather than yourself. Yeah. I'm going to go and make some dinner. I've got some chicken I can throw in. It won't take very long. We eat our dinner. It's kind of a supper really. We eat typically about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And that's generally because of work, and then you get into that habit, and over the weekend it just sort of stays that way really. But it does kind of mean you get a longer length to your day. Now we've got 2 bits of that's on. It's on good enough. It's not going to come off, and I quite like it's got a bit of movement about it. So I'm going to use this thread and keep going round with the little odd stitches to make the band stay on. And then the other one I'll come back and go and whip stitch around this one. Just kind of use what we have. This is going to be quite nice. So I have an all service meeting at the end of next week. Yeah. Which I will wear my hat for if they want us to. If they don't want us to have anything Halloweeny, I won't. Because I'm not that kind of, not that way inclined really to make yourself stand out if you don't have to. But if they do, I've got like a black dress I can throw on. My green Doc Martens and some green tights or something like that. It'll work out. I'm very much a Doc Marten kind of girl. Just Doc Marten boots. And I've got some green ones currently on the go. That's just a leftover from being a teenager. It's funny, my daughter's got Doc Martens now. It's like some things never change, do they? She went to her first vintage kilo sale, and boy, that's gone up, because I remember the last time I went to one, which was before the pandemic, it was £10 a kilo, and it's now £20 a kilo. I mean, some of it is because it's in Cambridge, and Cambridge is just expensive, so everything's expensive. Some of it, I think, I don't know, it's just gone up. So I'm just kind of going in and out, making little stitches. I'm going to make some little pleats. I'll make a pleat. Sewing the little pleats in. Just to attach it on, really. I don't know if this is the right way to do it or not. This is the way I'm doing it. And I think you like I want to find like-minded people that are like that, or give people permission to be like that, that, you know, it's about having fun, it's about making something, being creative, like getting those creative juices going. That's really good for our mental health, but also not taking yourself too seriously, not taking the whole thing too seriously. Let's see where we're at. If we can take these pins out and feel like it's safe and secure. I think we can. It would make a great pin cushion, like a Halloween pin cushion. that might end up be what, you know, what its life might end up being. I was going to decorate for Halloween, but because we haven't done that for years, but I don't think we'll manage that. I might just open the trunk up. It's downstairs. We have all our decorations are either in one of the old fireplaces in the house that you can't use as a fireplace because it used to have a gas boiler put into it, but it's a fantastic storage cupboard, and that's where the Christmas tree and everything is. Or we've got some like antique trunks sort of sat in front of it because the door's not very pretty, so I disguise the ugly by putting something vintage and antique in front of it. That's basically how I have been solving the problems when I find things are quite hideous looking. Just disguise it a little bit. So yeah, the bottom trunk of that, there's like 3 big trunks, and the bottom one's got autumn and Halloween decor in it, which I've never really used in this house. And some of that is just my daughter's got older. You know, it's not been something we used to decorate for birthdays and stuff like that. We've not really, it's not something we do anymore. It's a little bit sad, but it's a new season and all of that. Just finishing this off now by creating a knot. I'll do it again just in case you've not. Let me know, how much slow stitching do you do? Is it something you're getting into? Something, you know, you've done lots before? I know there was one lady who commented about the slow stitching, but she commented on a junk journal video, and she was like, oh, I kind of started, you know, I subscribed to you because of the slow stitching, but now I'm kind of getting into the junk journaling. So, oh, she was tempted to get into the junk journaling. And, you know, and I said to her, and I'll say it again here, is I think both crafts sort of lend themselves to one another. Because slow stitching for me is about repurposing and reusing things, which, you know, junk journaling for me is also that. So it's not about buying kits of things, it's about finding things. Now, I've said before, I use, you know, like I'll use a printable, but I don't buy single use craft supplies. And that's just part of my why, really. It's just I like to make things out of old things. Don't want to add to pollution and other things. Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's now on. I will trim that little bit looser thread. We've still got this thread that was put on from that other thing. So we're just going to go in and under, through. Tie that knot. So this one piece of thread has gone round that. It's done some of this. Then we put a new piece of thread on to go around the hat. And now we're going to finish this off. Let's see where we're up to. 43 minutes. If you're still with me, we have a giveaway of an advent calendar. That is my task this week. It has to be done. So that it's ready for the announcement the following week. And the Etsy shop is up and running with the advent calendars in. And then what I'm going to do is I will launch the Etsy shop just with the advent calendars in, and then I will add more products as we go closer to Christmas, because I might put some like cheaper ephemera packs, and I might put some journals that I've made in that are just sort of ready for you to decorate, because I don't think it would be viable for me to decorate entire journals. It'd take me so long. I'd have to charge so much for them. And, you know, nobody's got that kind of money. But if you want to, you know, you're not confident in making a journal and you want like a handmade journal to work in, then, you know, I think that's a much more valuable prospect, because I don't spend, because it's the time really. And I don't think I'll be paying myself minimum wage, but I do think, what's the old saying, a worker's worth the wage and all that. Yeah. we are just doing the whip stitch on the fabric, and it's sort of blending into the background. I did think when I was setting this up, I'm like, nobody's going to be able to see what I'm doing. You just have to sort of imagine that I'm sticking it in and bringing it back out and making it into a whip. It's also going to pick up every little bit. It's a bit of glue, but that's okay. I'll keep it away from the cat. Oh, the cat has been a mess in a mall today. He laid on the top of Miles all night, so he couldn't sleep. And Miles is, I would have just pushed him off, but Miles won't do that. He'll sort of like worry about him because he's a rescue cat and he's a bit skittish. And then it was his spot on day today, like the anti-flea. So he took umbrage at that and went outside for a bit. But he's just come back in now because he wants feeding. We give him a treat and everything after, and it's not like an injection or anything. He just doesn't like being messed about with. Coming to the end. If I can hear him now asking for dinner. Oh. Look at that. That's a good one. Well, let's hide my stitching, my tidy knot behind here. Does that need another stitch? Actually, I think she could do with another stitch. Let's do that. Make a little bit of a knot. And then we'll just have one, and I will do this last one myself rather than putting you through that. And then I'll do the thumbnail. So that we're at 47 minutes. Take my thimble off. Got 2 more to do, but I will do those off camera so that you can see. Oh no, I've got 1 more, just didn't take the pin off. So you can hardly see it actually. I can't see it, so I know probably on camera you're not really going to see it, but it's just been a circle of the black velvet that I've whip stitched all around, and that's what's adhered the little bit of tulle. I've whip stitched all around this flower in the same manner that I've done the other flowers, and then I sort of tuck the tulle underneath for some of it, and that's attached. And so that's what I'm going to do for the final thing, and then it will be finished. It's very sweet. I like it. It's like the most unspooky Halloween thing I've ever seen. So I think that's the back. Yep, I think that's the front. I don't know if I want to put anything on the front. No, I don't think I do. I think the flowers and stuff. I don't think it matters actually which way around you have it. There we go. What do we think? I don't think I want anything on the end because I've got, have I put them away? I've got these. I was thinking, do I put a, if they were green, if there were tassels were green, I think I might have been very tempted, but because the tassels are not green, I don't know, I don't think so. They'll be come in handy for other things. Right then, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to film another video immediately after this where we're going to look at this junk journal. So, but I might put a jumper on before I do that because it's got chilly in here now. So there we go. Witch's hat remade over for Halloween using recycled elements, recycled and vintage elements. Of course it has a vintage button on it. So what do you think about it. Have you ever done anything like this? This would work for Christmas as well, like a Christmas hat or a Christmas stocking. We might redo a Christmas stocking if I can find one. I don't think I've got any left. Or we'll make a Christmas stocking because that's a nice one to do. And we're going to make some gingerbread men, and I think some other little bits and pieces to decorate a tree. And then we'll decorate a tree. I might put one in my bedroom that we can decorate together. Right then, I will talk to you very soon, but it'll be tomorrow when you see that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Don't forget, subscribe, like and comment the video to win Vintage Button Advent Calendar, which will be finished by the end of the week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Certainly by the end of next weekend. Alright then everybody, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you if you've got this far, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.